Hello and welcome to the Backyard Machine Shop. Well guys, we've rescued another machine. This time it's a number 3 Cincinnati milling machine company, horizontal milling machine. It's dated, I'm going to date it somewhere between 1890. One, it's got an 1890 patent date on it, and I'll look up that patent to see what that 1890 patent was later. And I say between 1890 and 1910. I think 1910, Cincinnati changed the bearing support, the arbor support, to a removable arbor support. This one is integrated into the ram. So that's how we're getting the date. So it's somewhere between 120 to 130 years old, or 120 to 110 years old. So anyway, we're going to see what we can do with it. It's got some problems. I'm looking at some things. I'm trying to do some research on it, trying to figure out exactly what I got. I mean, but it's a nice machine. Other than that, it's a universal machine. It's got a nice feed mechanism on it. And I think that's another way of dating it. I'm not sure what year they started putting this feed mechanism on it. Anyway, back to the story of the machine. About a year ago, the gentleman called me and asked me if I wanted the machine. And you know, he heard I was looking to create a line shaft shop, and I told him, yeah, I'd take it, and I'd take it off his hands. And the deal was, he was going to get it out of a shed. It was sitting in there on a dirt floor back in the corner, and I was kind of asking him, I said, well, have you got any way to get it out of there? And he said, I'd take care of it. So it's been about a year. He finally got it out of the shop, out of the little shed. And all right, so he gave me a call and he said, hey, you know, I got the machine ready for you to come pick up. And so I made a trip over to Alabama yesterday actually, and picked the machine up. So anyway, I wanted to go over a little bit of the stuff with you, and this is going to be the first video in the restoration of this machine. So what I'm planning on doing today is I'm going to go over the machine a little bit. We still have it on the trailer, still hooked to the truck. And I'm going to take it to the car wash down the road, and we're going to pressure wash it and clean it up some, where we can kind of go over what, you know, what it has. So let me grab the camera, and I'm going to bring you around, and I'll show you some of the issues with the machine that I can see right off the bat. All right, guys. Well, the first thing, it is a universal machine. The gentleman that gave me the machine didn't even realize it. He didn't even know that it was a universal. He was actually an engineer, and he's more of a hobby machinist, and so he never even, like I said, never realized it. It's got feed in every, there's a feed in every axis. You got a Y feed, you got the Z feed. Well, actually on the horizontal, I guess that would be Z, and that would be your Y, and then you have your X feed here. It's all driven from, you know, this is a line shaft machine, so the feed drive comes off of these pulleys back here, and has a nice little gearbox. It's all greasy. I hate to touch it, anything. That's why I'm going to take it and get it cleaned up. Nice gearbox, and if you look in there, if you look at these gears, they're in excellent condition. Like, there's no wear on them whatsoever. So yeah, that's a good sign. I mean, it's even got some, I don't know if that's original paint or what, but it was painted gray at one point, which is like my favorite color for machine tools. So let's look at a couple of the problems. Well, to start with, the table is broken here in a couple places, got some damage. Really no big deals though. Next thing, it had been wrecked at one time. It looks like there's a brazed on handle. You know, I hope that ain't too much problem getting that apart when we go to fix this thing. The ways, really can't tell yet. They got a couple little chowdered parts out right here. You know, I think there's one on the other side. The spindle's an 11 brown and sharp. It's got a thread. I hadn't checked what the thread is on it yet, and it's got one arbor with it. I've got some other tooling, but the biggest issue, and I'm not sure. Let me walk around to the other side. The biggest issue is the cone pulley. Now, I've never seen whoever did this job, if they removed the cones off of it, they did a great job of it. Typically a cone pulley, and I'm not sure about the milling machine, it does, because since it's got a back gear, it does have to have a tube for it to rotate around the spindle. But it's like they've removed two of the cones, of the diameters of the cone. And I'm not sure, I think I read somewhere, but I may be mistaken, that about the time these machines came out, they offered a, and I think I'm wrong, I don't think it happened, but somehow there's something in my mind that's saying they offered a single cone like this for just running with gearboxes. Now I do have a gearbox, and it's over here sitting on the trailer. I'll show you that in a minute. And if that's the case, maybe this gearbox is an original gearbox with this type machine. I'm not sure. But the date that we're dating it around 1910, it's very possible that that's the situation. But again, somebody may have just gotten really, really good and cut those off without any sign at all of it ever being there. Now it did come with some options. If you look in here, we got a gear cutter. I say options, I mean some accessories. We got a slitting saw that's like maybe 3/8. Y'all have to excuse me. We got another little slitting saw. And another slitting saw, maybe 1/4 inch. Now what this guy said he did with this, and then another slitting saw. He built axles for race cars, some little small junior race cars, and we got 2 or 3 end mill holders here. They're all 11 Brown and sharp. So we got at least a little bit of an accessory there, and I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe that's a bearing or something. That looks like about it. So we're gonna close this back up. And we got a bushing for the arbor, I guess for one of the different size things. So we got a couple of things, a couple accessories with it. All right. So our plan is we're going to take this over to the car wash. Now I've got a new channel sponsor, or I say a channel sponsor, but Super Clean sent me some cleaning supplies, asked me to try them out, make a video of it, and I can't think of a better way of trying this out than cleaning up this old greasy machine. So we're going to take it over to the car wash, try to clean it up, and I'll meet you over there. All right, guys, welcome to the Backyard Machine Shop. Well, we got our newest machine rescue victim here, and what we got, before I unload it off the trailer, it's really, really nasty, grimy, and greasy, and so I want to get it cleaned up as best I can before I ever get it off the trailer. So what I'm going to use is I've got this this Super Clean, and the people at Super Clean were kind enough to send me a few bottles for me to use on some projects, and I haven't used it yet. I have sprayed this down a little bit, and it seems to be working. So it's been sitting for, I don't know, 15 minutes. I'm gonna spray it again and let it sit for about another 15 minutes, and then we're gonna take and pressure wash it, and then we might have to do it again. So it's simple to use. It just comes right out the bottom, already mixed, and honestly, it looks like it's working. So let me hit it again with everything again, and we're just gonna let it. I'm gonna scrub it in with a brush. I mean, this thing is greasy. Let's run the table back. Now I've taken all the straps off everything where I can clean it without having to deal with the straps. And I'm sure this is going to take a lot more than just a bottle of cleaner. But that's the way we're going to start out. Now, I don't mind these machines being greasy, because usually if they're greasy, that means they're not rusted up and seized up. So, and I'm sure we're going to have to put the pressure washer on it a couple more times before we're through. Because this machine's going to get, I don't mind hitting it with a pressure washer. It's going to get completely disassembled before we're through with it. So the bottle of stuff that they give me was super clean foaming. And I have the gearbox for this thing sitting down here on the trailer. And trust me, it's there. I'll show you a picture of it. But I'm going to go ahead and coat it too. Now, I don't know if this is the gearbox leaking, or if the gearbox leaked on the mill, or the mill is greased up the gearbox. I like this foaming stuff. It looks like it's going to lift it right off. All right, guys, that's the alarm telling me that it's time for the thing to stop. All right, so I want you to see. I'm not even going to turn it off. All right, so let's take this camera off the mount. Okay, so the gearbox. That's how clean it came without even scrubbing it. Now we're going to apply some more and we're going to scrub it in just a second. If you look at the mill itself, it's coming pretty clean. It's like a little stain in it, but all the grease is disappearing. So we're going to do the same thing there. We're going to apply another coat. We've got some brushes, and we're going to scrub them all in, and then wash it again. Let's look at this other side. Yeah, sir. Come right on off. So, all right. So give me a few minutes, and I'll bring you back, and we'll look at this thing after I scrub it in. All right, guys. So we're going to take some of this super clean foaming action stuff here, and we're going to spray it back on there. And what we're going to do different this time is we're going to scrub it in. Nice. And see, it's working again. I really like the foaming stuff better than I did the other, so I might use it on both sides. And we're going to take this brush. I just bought this from Dollar General right next door, and we're going kind of scrub it in this time. A little nasty, but I'm sold on this product. Super clean. So the next step is to get this thing home, get it offloaded, and put it in the shop. And it'll probably sit there for a while until we decide. Well, the first thing is get it off, unloaded, get it to the shop, and coat it in something where it won't rust right back up. But we're going to decide what we're going to do with it and try to figure out how bad it is. We'll look at it when we get back home and look at some of the features now that we got it clean. So for now, I'm signing off. I'm very impressed with the Super Clean products, and there's a couple more products they sent me, but these are the two I chose to perform the task on this particular project. And I'll get up here and show you some pictures. And this, I hadn't touched it. I'm gonna get a towel and start wiping some of it off just to get some of the water off. All right, so a few minutes. I'll see you. So we've got her back to the house, right outside the shop. Plan on getting her unloaded tomorrow. I'm very impressed with the Super Clean. I've had the product for a month or two, and really I haven't been, this type work I haven't been doing, so I haven't been able to use it. So when I had this, I wanted to get this cleaned up before I take, now my process, whoo, sound of freedom over there at Fort Stewart. If you listen good, you'll hear a few more of them. Anyway, I've been, this process that I use to go about this, and what I'll do is, we'll get this in the shop, and I don't know, it may be a few months before we get started on it, but we will completely disassemble this machine and clean up every part. The cleaning here was just mainly as an initial cleaning, just where I can handle it without having grease everywhere. So now I can take it apart and I'll clean each individual piece as we go. So far I'm starting, I mean, when I picked it up, I wasn't 100% of the condition of this machine. This machine's in a lot better shape than I thought it was. And we're going to show you that. I mean, the table's got some, it's 100 something years old, maybe 118, 125 years old. I thought it had a 1900 patent date, but it's actually, the last patent date was 1896. So I'll go do some research, find out what all the patents were for. Again, there's some things. There's a change gear box back here. I can now see that it is a change gear. So we for the feeds. So that's something that's interesting. I know that this came out in the 1890s. The mills before those didn't have them. Now, that's probably one of the later patents, and we'll find that out when we go to search the patents. When the guy first called me about this machine, you know, I did a little bit of research and had learned some things. I come home last night, and I've only had it home a day, and I tried to find some of that stuff that I'd read and to kind of present it in a video, and I haven't been able to find it yet. And part of it is, at some point in the early 1900s, the arbor support changed and became removable, where you could use bigger arbors. Also, they went to a 40 or 30 cat 30, or not cat, but NTMB taper, and this one's got a Brown and Sharp 11. The gearbox, it was added at some point. The older mills didn't have it, and there's a few other things. We'll get to investigating all that, you know, and figure out exactly what we have here. There is something that's interesting about it, is this is not a line shaft machine. It's not. And in the next video, I'll show you what it is. So, I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I've just been busy. I quoted 2 jobs when I got home last night that I'm probably going to end up doing this week. So, I can't complain. Staying busy in the shop. So, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for support. Hit the like button, subscribe. You know, hey, this is what it's all about, is saving these machines. So, from the Backyard Machine Shop, so long.